Walisema mimi ni chameleon. I can change at any time, any point, anywhere. Sasa just because wig ni kofia. Neza anza na hii niendelee na ingine kama anyway, nani kama sisi. I know it's not Chelsea. Hashtag is why in the morning. My name is Valentine or at Kalomi Val. If you're just joining us today, good morning. How are you? We've set the pace a little for you. So utakuja ukipata vitu ni moto moto nini kama ni chai, tusha nini, whatever. It's good. It's good. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. Have a couple under an hour. More or less, yes, to show it Aisha 10. But I wanted to thank Grasha Maingi for always being just a wonderful co-host with very many experiences and insights. Yeah, we appreciate you at Grasha Maingi. Umesikia kwa ameanzisha podcast inaitwa Through the Ashes, if I'm not wrong. Please do follow her on YouTube and everywhere else she is on. Sijai watch mimi, but sioni kama utaboeka. Oh, sheika tu kasikiza Grace venye anaongea non-stop, and it's always interesting. So do yourself a favor. Hashtag is why in the morning. Now let my beautiful panelists introduce themselves to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
And so I'm good to start with you. What's your name?
I go by the name Esther Washinga.
Okay.
I'm a law student at the Kenya School of Law.
I would have never guessed her.
I'm also a content creator on TikTok at Jesta Masharia.
What kind of content do you create?
I'm a dancer.
Really? A lawyer who dances. Does that affect you in any way? Like, lazima ucheze chini ukiwa job?
Honestly, no. Because I think besides the career, we have our lives outside, you know. Like, we really don't have to, like, put all our life on our careers. We have to put our hobbies, our interests, so it doesn't affect me in any way. Yeah.
You have spoken like a non-millennial. Acha nakwambia to why in a bit. Hi, good morning. What's your name?
Hi, good morning. My name is Seranganga. I am a lawyer.
Hey. Wey, mkona nia gani leo? Judges, are you trying to hold me in contempt or something?
Yeah, I am a lawyer. I mediate as well.
Okay.
Yeah. What else do I do?
Bana mnakawa pole. Lawyers look like you guys. They don't make them like you.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you find yourself in a situation where you'd have to mediate? Ni watu hatutaki kwenda kotini ama tumeenda kotini hatujasaidiana at all?
It could be a mixture of both. There are situations where things are a bit, I will call them petty, for them to go to court. And there are also situations where the court will look at them and they're like, guys, you can sort these things out. Things like succession, you can just sit down, agree, I will have 1 acre, the other one will have 2. And now you just go and finish your succession. And it also creates a win-win situation where you don't have, it's not someone has been granted damages, the other one has lost. All of you get to have something for yourselves. Yeah.
That sounds a lot easier and less expensive than court.
True. It's affordable and it's cost effective. Yeah.
Hold niko na maswali. Okay, sorry guys, sorry. Not all the time about entertainment news. Sometimes you also learn about the law. Today we're asking a very simple question, and I'll phrase it like this. Ukipewa I was going to say 2 million, but I don't, however your mind works, 2 million whatever. Kama ni shillings, sawa. Kama ni dollar, sawa. For me, it would be Kuwaiti dinari because I've never seen a currency that looks like that in my entire life to date. So if I was given 2 million Kuwaiti dinari, what would I do with it? If you were given 2 million, enter your nini, ungeifanya nini? Saitu. Tax free, 2 million.
Invest.
In what?
Real estate.
Wongo! Kwanza unatembea tu hapa mali ulikuwa unaenda lunch, kwanza sukuma inaanza kunuka sumo. Because why are we eating sukuma wiki today?
But we can't eat all that money.
I'm saying wewe unataka kunipima, let me try you. Your immediate. What are you going to do with that 2 million? Imeingia tu kwa account hivi, you are starting to count the commas. What are you going to do?
I'd start a business. Like, I've always had these business ideas flowing in my head. So I'd start one immediately. Like, immediately nimepata tu hiyo
utaenda
pesa.
kama umeshop trolley za smoky
Haraka,
hapa nini
haraka.
kama umeingia soko. Uongo, you guys are lying to
Seriously.
me. Mi kwanza naenda kwanza nikule nikuje chai nirudishie mwili pole nikandwe sijui and then we can now start thinking after that. Does that mean I have a problem? Umefikiria nini? You've had a thought.
Okay, honestly, I don't think it's a problem because you are a Gen Z, right?
Tuseme.
Tuseme. So Gen Zs, we want to have this lavishing life. So I don't judge you. We all have our own perspective. So I believe you're right. We all have different perspectives.
I'm just but a girl. I want to be treated like a... All right, so umesema 2 million immediately investing. So what would you invest in? And the point of this question is, when we are living this life, venye tu tumeamka leo asubuhi, are we thinking of what we want to be ama tuna deal na kenye tunaona sahi? So that whenever you are blessed with X amount of money, say tumesema 2 million X, what are you going to do with it? Are you prepared? Is your mind ready? Wewe ulikuwa umefikiria hiyo biashara before upate hiyo 2M, so that now that it enters, it has things to do. We will not waste it. So tell me.
I think when it comes to planning or thinking about our lives, it depends on where you are in life. For example, when you've asked that question, what has come to my mind is invest. You've asked me where. I'm like real estate.
Okay.
So that means that is something probably I've been thinking about. Maybe ningesema start a fashion design thing, or probably open a law firm now that I am a lawyer or something like that. But where my mind has been, where I have been looking at, that is probably what will come to my mind, and that is where I will start looking towards. And as you've said, I might probably relax or enjoy, go for a trip. But by the end of the day, what has been at the back of my mind is what I will start looking at. Is it the matter to business, real estate, whatever it is that you've been thinking about, that is probably where you're most likely going to be.
Does it simultaneously, let me ask you, the conversation just ended to you. Does that mean that your interests are solely based on, you've kind of answered me already, but let me just ask. Are they solely based on what you do? For example, you're training to be a lawyer, right? Yeah, so that means all your investments have to be around law.
Honestly, no. Because I think life is all round. You really don't have to put your focus on specific things, because what if the thing you're like, what you're putting your focus on, what if it fails? We really need to have backup plans, because assuming I open a law firm and somebody else, okay, we are plenty of lawyers out here. Everybody is opening a law firm. But there is also an opportunity. You are a lawyer, yes, but there is an opportunity to open something like the Matatu business. You understand me? So why would you venture into a law firm which is exclusive? I mean, which is most of the people are venturing into the law firm. Yeah. Yet you can also earn some money from a Matatu business. So I think we are not supposed to focus on what we are doing. Like, you can be diverse and do other things. That way it will work.
One of the things we're talking about today at the beginning of the show was jealousy in relationships. And one of the questions that's kind of brought a sudden revelation is generation. So how different generations would act on either the feeling of being jealousy or saying it out loud ama kusafa nayo in silence. So do you think also generation side tukipatiwa 2M what a millennial no boomer when isedieni boomer alafu I think millennial sasa hapo ndio Z alafu tu ikiingia alpha. I'll start from alpha coming this other side. Alpha tuko na watoto lakini watoto wangu nashinanga niko wasema good morning. Watoto wa ploti wanafunga shule. Do you know what the immediate response is? Wanaanza kutengeneza bracelets alafu wanauza kwa ploti. Mimi ilikuwa inanifascinate. When I closed school, I had closed school. Niliacha kufikiria. Unaona hiyo first week of going back to school, you start learning again how to write. Mimi nilikuwa nimesahau bana, nimemaliza hii kitu. There's a time for everything. See, we are told. So does that mean also generations would handle money differently?
Yeah, definitely.
Explain.
You see, the example you've given, I also have a small sister, and recently she has started making some small notebooks with sticky notes, I know she was selling them at 25 bob. And they've said when I was her age, ningekuwa huko kwa some place
ukicheza mnakimbiza syllabus.
Akili yangu haingekuwa inafikiria so much about like I can make something and earn money. She also wants to make the ice pops and sell them. Anaona kuna fridge hapo na kuna I can make some 10 shillings and all of that. So even hata sahi as Esther has said, when you look at money, your immediate response is it cannot be limited to a certain field. The same kama kitambo, if you look at it, our parents and their parents they will like focus on one area. Kama ni teaching, I am a teacher and that is the only thing I am going to do. But right now when you give me that money, I am a lawyer, yes, but I can do something else. I can do the matatu business, I can choose to travel, I can even leave the law alone and nifanye some other things. So the way my mother would handle that money, probably angeinvest kwa shamba na agri business. But for me, I'm like, hey, hapana, acha nitafute bags that I can design and handle it in a certain way. And give myself maybe some sort of soft life. And also, if you look at back then, hawakuwa na ile, how do I put this? They didn't want to be seen as if they have money. Like wako na a few coins, but pia hakuna venye the way they'll dress, the car they'll drive, especially
facts, my God.
So like right now, it's Gen Z wamesema si lazima ninaweza kuwa na pesa na bado nikae vizuri. It doesn't mean that I'm so extravagant or I want to look a certain way, but because I have this money, kwa nini kai tu hapo and I'm driving some sort of car and I can drive a better one. So I will say those are the few differences I have monitored across generations. The investment areas will be totally different. The way they look with their money will be totally different. And their desire to make money right now is a bit earlier compared to kitambo. Kulikuwa na hiyo ya uende shule usome, ukimaliza kusoma uende kazi and blah blah blah. Right now you can make money while you're in primary school, whatever situation you're in, you can start making money as early as possible.
There's a video I watched on Instagram, and this is a mother-daughter duo. The daughter is not more than 12 years old. Now the context, ushai angalia tu simu kachoka, because unaona ukifungua it's for you. I do not follow this I don't know them, I do not know their names, I do not intend to, but it shocked me. When I made my first million, I was in my late 30s. Okay, sawa. Hapo unamwangalia unasema tuko na time. Tuko na time bado. Alafu aka shift sasa POV, kamera inaangalia mtoto. She made her first million at 11.
Yeah, things are changing.
Okay.
And I feel itafika mahali yache kwa surprise.
Ati tuko millionaires.
Itacha kwa surprise when you see a young person ame make dough akiwa mdogo. Itacha kwa surprise. Like say na sound wow.
Because I can't even access it. Si ndio? Nafanya nini na hiyo pesa yote? Na nalishwa na tuna I don't know about you, but there's this family that I really, really like. First of all, he's my favorite YouTuber. Shout out to you, Mr. Mukurugenzi. Napenda Mkuru sana. Alafu now, just recently, they've brought the entire family. Silianza na Mkuru. Alafu bibi yake Bi Mkuru akaingia kwa limelight. Now we have Moms, Mbua. The way Mbua reasons, nasi from sijui one of those. Like the way she reasons. And then ni kama pia ameanzishiwa kabiashara. Hata huyu Sweet Love wa who the first one, tulikuwa tunamuimbia Sweet Love, ona ni mrefu kama baba yake sahi. Anyway, that's not the point. They both have very entrepreneurial minds, and they're in school jamani. So huyo si anaweza pata 2 million at any, na kushangae mbona una struggle. Like, why are you not working hard? Si mtoto kama wewe anaweza kuangalia kuuliza, why are you not working hard? You want to be like this. This is how you want. How would you deal with someone like that? Or should we just be like her?
No.
Why?
No, you really don't have to fake life, honestly. That's a tough question because, what do you think?
I like that.
I feel like her life and someone else's life, the difference mostly is exposure. Because you'll realize, even from the generations you've talked about, the exposure someone like Tumi has gotten from her parents will be totally different from the exposure a child has gotten from another parent.
Hata nimesahau Tugi ako na matatu.
Tugi.
See?
Acha nipumue.
So I also feel like it's being passed down from generation to generation, because as you're saying, probably you won't make the million at a certain age, but probably your child will make that million at a younger age compared to when you made yours. So for me, I will say it's probably exposure, and I need to remove the status quo that si lazima tufuate this system. Kuna a system that we have that fanya hivi ukimaliza hii, but now you see they have been introduced to financial literacy at an earlier age. So by the time wanafika 18, they have mastered what is investing, which areas can I invest, which banks works for me, is it a SACCO, is it this other area. So for me, I would say it's exposure, and when we train ourselves to expose the younger people, na pia sisi tunaji-expose, because we can't always keep blaming sijui sikupata.
Oh, you are not the background.
There's a certain age where you have to take now accountability and ask myself, maybe sija make the million at 25, but maybe I can make 100, I can make 200, and then from there we progress, and then the next generation ata make 1 million, the other one 5, and tukisonga tuta make a lot of money. So exposure is really key, regardless of your area of study, your area of interest. And also, I also feel like they have monetized their hobbies and interests and personalities, because utapata they love speaking, having conversation, and utapata mama Mumbuzi ameambia Mumbuzi kuja tuongee, because she's maybe interested in that. And also the content creation, anaona she can be whatever she want to be, but she can also talk about that. Na I make a few coins out of it.
Do you feel like they are being coddled rather? Again, this is not some generation in a sound black or white. It's not black. There are a lot of gray areas. So, for example, if I had a parent who expected me, unaona hivyo vile unarusha tu mtoto kwa maji, we swim tu. Ukishindwa itakukujia, but we swim tu tuone kama unaweza. So is it tough love versus Jackie? There's a business idea we can do. Let's sit down and think about it. Because I'm young. We're assuming I'm young. I'm under my parent to seme. I am still young. It's just young enough to be under someone of the law, under 18 basically. So versus, is it tough love versus this kind of walk me through it? How do I open a business? How do I register? How do I make this legal? How do I make the most amount of money? You sit me down like a child initially, versus una kitu ingine ya kufanya, umemaliza high school, wewe nikikaa tu kwangu na kuwatch TV na kukula chakula, as now you're just expecting me to figure it out. What would you prefer?
Okay, I'd prefer the tough love.
Really?
Yeah. Because angalia like somebody like Tugi. Mamangu angekuwa kama mama Tugi jamani. I'd be having millions of money, you know, like okay, the thing we didn't, okay, I did. Okay.
It's okay. It's all right. It's a safe space.
Hatu kupata like ile support, yeah, you know, like you can do this, if you do this, you know, like system yetu hadi ya shule ukiwa high school, motivational speaker nakuja hapo anakuambia, you know, I started a butchery with a picture of meat.
A picture?
Yeah. Like, what does it even make sense?
I started like, 2 rivers with a glass of water.
How does it even make sense? So, izo motivations, the motivations that we were being given, at some point, zili to waste, you understand me? So, what I feel, at least having somebody who supports you, like ile nakwambia, maybe I should give you this amount of money, you do this and this and this, and I'll support you along the way. But sasa sisi, tulikuwa tunaambiwa, you should do this, but hatuonyeshwi, how do you do this? Where do you get the support? How do you even go about it? You know nothing about it. So I believe with tough love, you'll go places. They'll bring you together, tell you, you're supposed to do this, when you do this. In that way, we'll will go places. And that's what CBC and the systems of education that we are having right now, that's what they are doing. And that's why her younger sister is going places. Na tuko hapa tu.
Yo, tunamwangalia tu ya kitengeneza pesa,
Exactly.
sisi tukingoja kazi, tukiomba serikali.
Yeah.
Good morning, hashtag is why in the morning. Please answer the same question. Would you prefer tough love or would you?
For me, I don't think the verses should be there, tough love verses. I think we should have a mixture of both, because you've seen how sometimes you tell me, for you to make money, you need to do this, this, and this. I am listening, I am paying attention, and this is probably something I've grown seeing. Like napata my mom kwa laptop and I'm like, what are you doing? And my mom is like, I'm writing an invoice, natengeneza nini. And then she like introduces me to it, blah, blah, blah. So now when I am growing, I have grown with the culture of knowing I have to put in the work for me to get something in return. I am not being yelled, shouted at or something like that. And also, when I grow up, I know that, right? And now when I choose not to do that, that is now where the tough love comes in. Because I have been taught, I have been given the resources I need, and I have, like, nimekuwa equipped. So for me to actually go out there and conquer, na sitaki, then now that is where the tough love comes in, where I have to be pushed, lazima nitambiwa, okay, you don't have to tell me that, but acha tutumie your example. Nilikupeleka shule, nimekufanyia, kwa nini bado umekaa hapa? And you are equipped, you see. But now if you've not equipped me, you've not taught me the way, how do you expect me to go conquer? How do you expect me to know, hii pesa na hii pesa, hii inaweza peleka hapa, hii ingine nipeleke hapa. But now when you've equipped me, alafu nikwame ama nilemewe kidogo, because life happens, you're in a position to push me, and you see, nikirudi nyuma nitakuwa like, yeah, this is how we used to do it, this is how my mom taught me. Hata akiweza toka, I have something to look back at. So mi naweza sema a mixture of both, where we can be pampered kidogo, but at the same time tujue seasons. Kuna ile season yenye mtoto mdogo unamtrain kidogo kidogo, umemwambia wacha, wacha. You can't keep saying wacha, wacha, wacha. At some point you'll have to kumwambia no, that is not how we do it, and all of this. I'll say a mixture of both.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, make hadi science hapo ndani. All right. Is there a certain age where we're supposed to start thinking about the future? Where do we start drawing the line between kuwa mtoto, being children's, because I firmly believe I'm still children's, and being an adult? I was thinking, venye tu umeongea, now it was hitting me that race is also involved in this. I see very many Asian children, kindergarten yao wana learn chores, how to mop, how to fold clothes, how to kidogo wako in the gadgets, how to, kitu ina sound complicated only sijui what kind of engineer mwenye amesoma sijui for 3 years 4 years hapa Kenya. That is very basic yao. So is there an age that we should start without interfering with innocence? Juu mtoto lazima akue mtoto, asipokuwa mtoto saa hiyo itampata tu mbeleni. What do you think? Sasa unataka kudigress na unataka kudivert swali na kuona I can see you.
Okay, I don't think so. I don't come to think of it. Why is China more developed than Kenya?
Thanks. Why? Just because at a very young age washaanza kujua vitu. Sisi tu nilienda shule nikiambiwa niguze hapa kama haifiki. Kama hii mkono haifiki hii side.
What's the reasoning behind
I do not understand, because it has nothing to do with my IQ.
Exactly.
At all. Anyway, hivyo ndio sisi tulienda shule kama unakaa tu kidogo nyumbani, but look at them doing extraordinary things at a very young age. Is there a limit?
No. I think mindset ya Kenyans too. Like, we really have to change that, because unapatana na a young China kid anatengeneza a watch, like anaitoanisha and anaifix vizuri uko hapo. Wewe imeanguka tu, imecrack, unaiweka kando na unaachana tu nayo. Why are we doing that? I mean, I think there's no age for, I think all we have to do is restructure as Kenyans and change our mindsets, because okay, like umesikia stuff, I saw a post inasema ati the only things that Kenyans lack is believe in themselves, because we lack beliefs in ourselves, because tell me why tuna like si tuna lima tea leaves huku, we export them, but inaenda zinakuwa processed huko, then zinarudishwa huku na tunauziwa at a higher price. Yet we can do that. Why don't we, like as Kenyans, we send a few students outside huko to China, wafunzwe how to use those machines, how to like generally using them, warudi Kenya, and then tunalima majani chai yetu, we send it to them, and then that's it. Mbona tusi export our own things?
I honestly feel like that's a chain of command situation, because somewhere in Burkina Faso, Traore Ibrahim, captain, I think he's opened a couple of manufacturing companies so that to eliminate the middleman. So we mine here, we process here, and we sell here to our people at a discounted price, and outside venye tu inafa. I think that's just kidogo hapo. And by the way, this is a public service announcement. Well, let me tell you, credit must go where credit is due, okay? So recently, if I'm not wrong, a few days ago, Kenya became visa-free to, I think, most African countries and some of the Caribbean ones. So I think that's amazing. Mkuje Kenya bwana. Unakuja tu. Ati uko we kuja tu. No visa, nothing. We ingia tu duka alafu tucheze kama sisi sawa. #1 in the morning. Credit must be given where credit is due, and I think that is a very beautiful thing, especially for Pan-Africanism. Ni ancestors wa nani watakuniteka. Anyway, back to the point. Okay, how do you feel about how people maybe in different countries, continents, races, do you feel like they develop a little bit faster than us, ama ni sisi tu tumekataa kuintroduce watoto to, because why isn't filing tax in the syllabus?
I know, right?
Why have I learned about having the need to have a KRA pin after nimemaliza high school? Why?
When you need help.
Where? Now I have to figure out what first I had to figure out what nil returns is. Now I have to figure out what a P9 form is. Why wasn't this taught in school? Because I cannot remember the parts of a grasshopper, but when later for exam. Why?
I think for the development of the mind, I wouldn't say it has an age limit or a certain age that mtoto lazima fike age ndo tuanze kumintroduce whatever. If a child can learn 1+1 alafu kidogo ajue 4+4, then they can definitely know how to file a tax later on. It's just like unaenda tu kimpea kidogo, and that is why you'll notice that child who is making a watch ye ndo atatutengenezea gari in the future, because amepewa bits, and I feel like that is what we lack. And I know someone will argue, oh, mtoto acha mtoto akwe mtoto, acha mtoto, and that for me I will say it's the issue of life. For life, let a child develop as a child, but for the intellectual development of a child, feed the child, feed kidogo. That is why you're seeing Gen Alpha, they're mostly into tech, coding, AI, au watakuwa mostly generation ya IT na all of those technological things, because that is sasa wamekuja kwa ile generation yenye tuko na AI kabisa, and because we cannot do away with it, then how do we work with it? You see, for example, in school utapata, as I was writing my dissertation, you'll find people tunastahili to submit through Turnitin, where it has to be checked for plagiarism, for originality and all of those stuff. Now you'll notice someone has written the whole thing kutumia AI or copy pasting or whatever thing.
ChatGPT, write me a
you see, now the problem is not really the AI, in my opinion. The problem is we've not been given guidelines on how to use it, because you can probably write yours and then tell it to critique, and you can see mahali unezongeza 1 2 3 instead of you letting it now do the whole thing. Or you can ask it, by the way I'm writing on this, which areas should I focus on, blah 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 blah. You see, so for me I'll say hakuna age limit or anything, you just have to give it bits and bits depending on the age of the child. And also usifungie mtoto to know life. And I also feel like our education system inastahili to do much better in terms of educating on life issues.
Sure.
And financial literacy. Kwanza hapo sana financial literacy. They need to do more. They need to do more. Yes, I remember us calculating tax kwa form 4. Ilikuwa form 4, ilikuwa tulikuwa tuna calculate hizo vitu, but
kupita exam.
For the sake of kupita exam, but I didn't understand why I am calculating these things. Sasa wengine wetu tunafunzwa na media stations when they bring a guest.
Ulimwengu bana.
Exactly, you see. So I feel like the problem is not really age ya watoto sijui wacha wa develop or anything. In my view, we can introduce bits and bits and then tuende na how the world is developing, because kila kitu iko na pro and cons zake. Why don't we educate more on the pros, the good things, ndo tujue how to go about it. Things like AI, watoto wa sahi they'll do very well.
Nimepatana na mtoto wetu mmoja hapo wa ploti, amekuja kufanya homework hapo karibu na kwangu akitumia AI. Ati nikamuuliza ati unafanya nini? Ati sasa ameenda ka search insha ikampatia, nao kazi tu ni kukopi. Niko yani hata hapataki kufikiria asijui mwendo wa aste.
Oh God.
Okay. Funny thing, I think you're a godsend, because we're talking about AI this morning, and there was a certain situation where AI provided misinformation, kwa grok to be in particular. So it's necessary that you can think. Usikubali AI ikusaidie.
It does start a lot.
Inakusaidia kufikiria, but usikubali ifikirie alafu wewe ukae tu. Don't allow. You want to say something?
Okay, about AI. I would say everything has its advantages and disadvantages, but all we have to do is monitor how we are using it, especially like the way we allow our young children to use it, because kama huyo wa insha tell me sasa akifika high school ambaye anafaa kushika solve process ataanza wapi? You understand me? So I think it's supposed to be monitored, and we as the Gen Zs, because time yetu haiko inatokea vizuri, sisi ndo tulichezea. So we are supposed to we help our young kids, our young generation, our alpha, unawa support, tunamwambia his stuff, the more you use it, the more there's a research that says the more you don't use your brain, the more it dies. Brain cells grow. The more you think, the more your brain cells grow. Kuna a point nilikuwa nimeona ati there's a certain age unafika brain inaacha kugrow.
25. Kwanza inamalizanga na huko sijui frontal cortex or something. But please do not quote me if I'm wrong. Let me know.
So I think we should use our brains more. That's
You want to echo on what your friend has said?
Me I'm for AI. Like AI because it helps us in so many ways, but now there has to be things that need to be checked, kama like the development of a child's brain. This child cannot reason, cannot think for themselves. They cannot write a proper paragraph, a proper line if watachukua AI wangalia insha copy andike. You see, now instead of doing that, the child can ask which are the phrases neza tumia if I want to say I am so hungry, which is the best phrase I can use. And then now they'll get the phrase and then probably incorporate it in their writing instead of kuchukua the whole thing. And it's unfortunate. Unajua for a child, at least hajui sana what they are doing. But not for a whole fourth year kiandika dissertation na AI, surely. Unaona, so there need to be regulations, and also vitu kama za data privacy and how much information we feed AI and those devices. But AI it's good, it makes our work easier, but pia lazima verify kama inaweza kupea wrong cases, wrong references. Oh my goodness, wrong.
So tumieni akili, msiogope. Right, now the biggest chunk of the question today was, right now mali niko, it doesn't matter where you are as a viewer, what age, what situation, circumstance, mali niko sahi, how can I, because I really believe akili ndio kila kitu. And the heart kazi ni kupump blood. Hii story ya heartbreak, leave it. Sawa. Heart kazi ni kupump blood, akili kazi ni kufikiria. I really believe the kwanza squeezy with the mental awareness, mental health awareness situation, akili ndo kila kitu powerhouse. So how do I train my mind to behave in a manner that suggests I will have 2 million tomorrow? Is it the way I walk? Is it the way I talk? Is it the way I dress? Is it the people I hang around? Is it the kind of jobs I take or the kind of jobs I choose to stay in when I know very well hakuna mali tunaenda hapa, tumefika mwisho, and I think growth is important. So nataka unipate ona vile umenispoilea, talk to me. Nice.
I don't know, that's an interesting question. Because they say that our habits, like yo kidogo kidogo, determine mali utakuwa in the next life, in the next years, blah blah blah. So are there situations that zinaweza tusaidia to become better? I feel like though sometimes life inaweza kuwa challenging, life inaweza kuwa crazy, because utafanya all the things you're supposed to, but sionangi kama unaweza fanya kila kitu yani alafu Mungu akose kukureward kidogo. So for me nasemanga chenye nataka kukua si chenye wewe unataka kukua. For example, let's say you're in the media space, so there's where you aspire to be, and how you get there are constant things kama consistency, discipline, blah blah blah, but there are certain characters or things that will only work for you. Kama for example wewe utapata probably your social media following iko na watu wako kwa media content creation, because that is the area you want to be. For example mimi na Esther tunataka kukua kwa Halloo, so utapata tunafollow watu kama PLO nini, because there are certain
PLO account msifanye nimfuate bwana. There
are certain things that will work for me because I'm in a certain area, and there are certain things that will work for you. So for me nasemanga identify those areas, because unaweza sikiza someone ako kwa social media and they're talking about social media purely. Of course you'll notice things like consistency, discipline, kujituma, but venye wanajituma si venye mimi naweza jituma. Maybe mimi ni kudraft articles, kuapply hapa na pale, kushua, kusoma vitabu and all of that. For you probably ni kuchukua kamera na uvlog, uzunguke, ufanye all of those things. So for me nitasema the whole thing ni consistency, discipline, and then now know your niche, because si kila kitu ina apply for everyone. There are doctors, there are teachers, content creators, chefs. Kuna vitu tu zina apply for them that will serve them, and not necessarily me, because probably mimi niko kwa drafting, paperwork, mwingine ako kitchen, mwingine ako football, mwingine ako kwa like those kind of things. But the whole thing ni consistency, discipline, alafu sasa ujue your niche, which is your niche, which is that area you want to work on. And also it doesn't have to be one, it can be,
I like that. I really like that. It
can be a few areas. Kama mimi ni lawyer, nione content creation pia iko na kakitu, we can start talking about laws, niwaambie ukitaka kuchukua shamba, this is how you do, this is what you do.
Sasa hivi yuko kwa market vibaya tu tena sana.
I know, right?
Ukae tu kwa camera tupatie stories za constitution kama 3.
Sarap. And right now people are interested.
Very.
That is the good thing.
The temperature is right.
Yeah.
Pia ni seasons, because kitambo mtu akijaribu kuniexplainia what picketing means,
I know,
I would be why telling me about fences? Why guys? No. Kumbe has seasons. So maybe same question. How would you advise someone to behave, to walk, to talk? What would you do different if you knew you had 2 million coming in? Or what would you do different knowing if you do it this way, next week sakasa itakuwa na 2M?
I believe it all begins in the mindset. Most of us, I believe kama we had the right positive mindset, tungekuwa where we were, we want to be, I mean, because assuming, okay, personally I've seen people going places due to mindsets. I had this friend of mine, like we were talking a few days ago, alikuwa ananiambia alikuwa na a very negative mindset. Alikuwa ungeenda tu mtajia like you know you're going to make $1 million, aje mimi ai si mimi. But the friend met another friend. Then unaona in the process of talking naweza kuwa na I might be a person who has plenty of ideas in my head, but the way to implement them ama to make them come to life sijui. So the friend tells the friend the ideas ako nazo, na within 2 weeks the friend implements the ideas and got more money than my friend sasa.
Ile sasa akikaa tu na hiyo idea yako kwani
Yeah, so like I believe mindset too, having the right mindset itakupeleka places. So unaona like the friend uko na my friend here might have the mindset of business ideas, but I might have the mindset of implementation. So I believe combine implementation, ideas, the people you walk around with, because always niambia I'll just sit with anybody and you expect me to go places. Have a circle of friends wenye wanaku improve, wanakuambia yenyewe ukienda hivi tukiweza, how about we start this business, what do you think? Si watu mnaketi tu mnaongelelea heartbreak na
you know, I'm really glad you brought that up, because it's very necessary that you understand growth is uncomfortable, and inaweza fanya uachane na watu hamjakosana. This has finished its time. It was fruitful when it lasted, but ni hivyo sasa. Okay, so please understand that hamjakosana na ni sawa, na si must uendelee, wewe waambie tu bye. To see not all the time alinifanyia, tulienda out, tukapigana hapo kwa parking lot, let's go on his page, let us see who he's dating now, nitamshow, nisaidie DM. As I'm making this up, but I'm sure this is someone's life. I'm sure this is someone's life somewhere. Hey, all right, you want to show me barefoot? It's okay, Benjamin. It's okay. I'm not shy. I'm not shy, but hashtag is why the morning. All right, I think we have a couple of more minutes before time runs out, so I will make this as concise as possible. So can you talk yourself out of a blessing? I don't know if we've entered everything is spiritual, but can you talk yourself out of a blessing? Hii ilikuwa ni yako. But ama uambiwe you have been brought up to speed with terms and conditions of maybe your dream job or your promotion, or you've been headhunted, just something beautiful happened to you. But before you signed, ulianza kutuambia, guys, unajua mimi naenda. Yeah, mimi hata nilipromotiwa. You have not signed anything, remember? Can you talk yourself out of a blessing? Patana na mtu kumbe alienda kusema mbona umepatia huyu hii kazi, mbona si mimi, ama just some random things. Can you talk yourself out of a blessing? I know you have an answer. Ni vile tu nakaa tu bombastically confused, but I'm sure your first answer, what would it be, Esther?
Yeah, you can.
How and how not to do it?
Okay. Oh God. Can you talk yourself out of a blessing? Yeah, you can, because oh my God. Well, okay. This is how I'll phrase it. You don't have... okay, wanasemanga, what do you say in law? Silence does not amount to... There's a phrase we have in law. Okay, so work in silence. That's the bottom line. Like working in silence, you know, the more you work in silence, hakuna mtu anajua your progress, and there is no way they'll attack. But sasa hapa nimeambiwa nitakupea kazi kwa law firm. And then naenda kuambia my friend,
mimi nishapewa kazi.
Nini itamstop pia yeye kutry get that opportunity yenye niko nayo, na maybe kuna mtu mmoja peke yake ndo alikuwa amebakia kubaliwe kwa hiyo law firm. Ataenda, maybe she has better agendas than I. Mbona asipewe hiyo chance? Mbona okay, a law firm wants a person who will work like
zero life.
Exactly. You see? Then akuwe hivyo, mimi si yuko hivyo.
Wewe una dance bana. Usinite job ni sato.
Exactly, you see? So like atamchagua over me. That way you'll have talked yourself out of a blessing. So how to avoid it? Work in silence. Just work in silence. Do your things chini ya maji. Venye umesema ungesema mimi ni lawyer, right?
Singe.
Exactly. I'm nacheza chini.
Wow. That was intentional. I see you.
I'm telling you.
Okay, what would you say to the same question?
Wow, that's a very interesting question. Mi sijui why people say kama ni yako ni yako. Others say kama haikuwa yako and some sort of things. So this is how I'd put it. For me, I think you can speak yourself out of a blessing, but for me naweza sema mostly because of your actions. Probably ni kama watu wa connection. I totally believe huwezi enda mahali through connection and you're not as competent as they painted you to be.
Oh, hujaiona mtoto wa boss
wako but
akipiga stories za jaba sisi tukifanya kazi.
That is for me, that is how I'll say you can talk yourself out of a blessing. Umepata opportunity, you've been hata tuseme hakuna mahali vitu zimeenda vibaya, ushaipata, umeclick, umeingia, but now they needed someone who alisema atafanya hivi na hivi, and they say lie, they'll train you and all of those things, but even when you're trained, you're still not giving, you still umerelax, uko mediocre, you don't to give your best. That is how I'll say you can talk yourself out of a blessing. For example, let's nipe an example in a relationship. We all want that dream perfect person, right? But now my question inakuanga, you want honesty, transparency, faithfulness, love, all of those lovey-dovey things. But now my question is, are you in a position to accommodate that? So kwa hiyo blessing yenye umepewa, are you in a position to accommodate
capacity,
it? Kama hauko in a position to accommodate it, then you definitely not going to get that blessing. Na wanasemanga kama you equipped, then there's nothing uwezi handle. Hata kama hauko as qualified, you can learn because you want to. Unataka kufika hapo. But sasa kama umepewa and you're just there, you don't show up on time. Acha hata usikuje extra early, you just show up on time at least.
Bare minimum.
Yeah, at least do what is required of you. At least contract imesema hivi, at least fanya hivyo. But now when you don't do that, other than the external factors kama hizo za kuibiwa, kufanyiwa nini, the internal factor for me I feel like weighs more weight than what other people can do, because sometimes we don't have so much control about external factors more than internal factors, which is utafanya hiyo kazi, nimekupea kazi, umeniita, umesema tukuje tufanye hivi, will you do it? Are you in a position to do it? And if ulisema utafanya na haufanyi, then for me that is how you speak yourself out of a blessing.
Okay. You want to add or take away?
I support.
You echo.
Yeah.
There's this video, very short video I once watched, and this guy said, if you have, the question we're asking, if you were given 2 million right now, what would you do with it? And a lot of investing and etc. are coming up to the table, but when kama ujui 2 million nakaje, uje changanyikiwa unaweza lipa rent ya 6 months na okay sawa, you don't understand the gravity, and 2 million might not be that for you, as in the number. It could be as high or as low as you like it. But anyway, this guy says, if I was given 2 million, if I am a billionaire and have been given 2 million, this 2 million has it has no option but to multiply. But if pesa tu ikiingia tu hivi, mi kazi tu ni kuitumia, how long do you think 2 million you can kaa tu nayo hivi na unaitumia tu na hairudi? Hakuna tunarudi, tunatumia tu. Watu wangapi tumesikia? Sijuzi Omosh pia alikuwa analielea amepewa sijui mitangapi kidogo. Kwa ni pombe ni expensive. Ama ni wasichana wanakuja na hiyo pombe. I don't know. But it's very easy to lose what you feel at the time is a very significant amount of money. Na inaweza potea na ukijaribu kukaa kuitrace, huioni bana, you don't understand what happened. So if you're that kind of person, whether you're given 2, 10 or 20 M, bado tu, but if you are a multiplier, for lack of a better term, whether unapatiwa 10k ama 100k, eventually itafika hiyo billion inafaa kufika. All right, your closing remarks, Esther, as we go.
Okay.
Like in the morning.
Like my closing remarks are, please, Kenyans, let us, as much as we are complaining that the government is, oh, we're not supporting the whatever, like, what are we doing for ourselves? Like, we have AI, we have like, we have all the stuffs we have talked about hapa. Like, what are we doing as Kenyans? Like, why do we allow our kids, oh my god, like, oh my god,
Fungua roho ikutoke.
initoke. So okay, like, in general, Kenyans, we are failing a lot. Like, as much as tuna complain the economy is bad, like yesterday we were on NTV, we were discussing about has the Kenyan economy improved over the last 5 years. Now, I think all we have to do is work together as Kenyans. Like, why don't we come together as Kenyans, we decide hizo imports, kwanza hizo exports zinaniuma sana. Why don't we, like, find a way as Kenyans, come together, find a way to bring back the economy to place, and I think that way it will work. Plus, about the topic of today, we were saying, we were talking about, like, leo imekuwa na issues mingi.
Better, how to improve yourself, basically.
Yeah, like, it all starts from our mindset. We be ourselves, improve our mindsets, and that way we are going places.
All right, thank you, Esther. Your closing remarks in a sentence.
In a sentence?
Yes, please.
All right. For me, I'll say, let me reference the Bible kidogo. Christians wanajua story ya Abraham, basically. So, God tells Abraham, as far as your eyes can see.
Oh, wow.
As many stars as you can count. As, like, yo mchanga ya the sea, that is how much your descendants watakuwa. And for me, I carry that so much. So ataleo acha tubebe, as far as you can see. Maybe acha we mali unaona ndo utapata. Kama unaona hapa hivyo, in terms of wealth, love, family, exposure, experience, and living life to its fullness. For me, I believe as far as your eyes can see, huko ndo utafika. As many stars as you can count, huko ndo utafika.
Utafanya niende niangalie stars. Benjamin, when's the last time you looked at the stars? Ama unataka kuniambia Wakamba muangaliangi juu? Hamjazoea maji. Good morning. I'm very, very sorry, guys. My name is Valentine. What color me Val? I want to tell you, there's this thing I was been reading up on. It's called the imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome ni kitu that makes you feel that you could be in all the right places at the right time, where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, but something tu kwa roho ama sijui ni akili inaanza kuambia you don't deserve this. You deserve to be here, okay? You deserve everything. Why are you discounting all the things that have led up to you being here at this moment and this time? Sawa, you're not an imposter, you deserve this. So go get it! Go get it! Sawa, mimi nataka kuona wasichana tukikaa vizuri na tukiwa na pesa tunakula tu jasho yetu. Sawa? Yeah, that is all. At Y254 Facebook, Y254 channel on X. I have been with @Grasha Maingi as my host, my co-host today, and we appreciate you. Thank you for allowing us into your spaces, and we wish you a fantastic day. We pray we see you tomorrow on #Thursday Vibes, where we basically start your weekend quite early, all right? Now, be safe and have a good day. Bye-bye. Say bye.